really loving Six of Crows. It basically reminds me of like a classic spy espionage movie, but in book form, and that makes it so much better. You basically have these six people who kind of come together to complete this heist. They're not stealing a treasure or a thing, they're stealing a person out of prison. So Kaz Brekker is kind of like the shadow king of this gang called the Dregs. This is like their gang tattoo symbol, which I think is like so cool. But anyways, so Kaz is the leader. He was recruited by a member of the Merchant Council to get this mad scientist out of a Fjerdan prison. Kaz and his crew live in Ketterdam, which is like this trade city. It's an island, and Ketterdam was mentioned in Shadow and Bone. Ravka is basically this big war-torn country, and Ketterdam is on the island of Kerch, which is this big like trade island kind of in the middle of everything. So it's basically like a found family trope. Kaz rounds up this ragtag group of people to help him complete this mission. Kaz is kind of like the mastermind of the group. He's always like the smartest person in the room, and he's got this reputation for being like dirty hands, for being ruthless, like there's nothing he won't do. His backstory is so tragic and heartbreaking, and it just made me love him that much more. I love Inej, I love Jesper and Wylan. Matthias is getting on my nerves right now, but I feel like I could grow to love him. I feel like he's gonna have like a great character arc, and Nina is amazing. But basically they're trying to break this mad scientist out of prison because he's created this potion drug called Jurda Parim, which basically increases the powers of the Grisha. The Grisha are like these, I don't know, like they kind of are born with these superpowers. There's the Corporalkai, which are healers and heartrenders. Healers can basically heal you quickly. Heartrenders basically can kill you just as quickly. There's the Etherealkai, which basically have the control of like the elements and light and shadow. You basically have like a specialty at one thing. And then there's the Materialkai, which are the fabricators. They just basically can manipulate textiles and weapons and raw materials. There are these people called tailors who can actually like change your appearance. Like they can change the way your face looks, your hair color. It's really cool. But basically Jurda Parim will like increase the powers of the Grisha to like this frightening level, which is dangerous for the Grisha themselves because they kind of crave the drug, and it's dangerous for, you know, the rest of the world. So the Merchant Council wants the scientists. Basically they're telling Kaz that they want him to just, they want the scientists so they can like make sure that Jurda Parim never gets in the wrong hands. Whoop de whoop. Kaz just wants the money. All the characters have such cool, like interesting backstories, and I love how the story is told from so many different points of view. I'm at the point now where they are trying to break into the Ice Court, the prison. Nina is the only Grisha of the group. She's a heartrender, but she does heal too, because she ends up having to heal one of the members of the group, like before their mission even starts, like something crazy goes down. Matthias is actually a like Grisha witch hunter. Fjerdans, they hate Grisha, they think they're witches, and he's basically a witch hunter. But I feel like him and Nina have like a thing going, which is crazy because on paper they should be mortal enemies, but I'm loving that because enemies to lovers is my favorite trope. So I'm hoping that turns out well. And Jesper is a sharpshooter. Wylan is actually the son of a wealthy merchant who ran away from home. And Nej is basically she was sold to a pleasure house, captured when she was 14, and one night she meets Kaz, and Kaz kind of rescues her from that place. She's kind of indebted to the dregs now. But I feel like there's something between Kaz and Inej that's more than what meets the eye. So I'm excited to see how all of these things develop. Also between Wylan and Jesper too, I'm sensing a little something. So I love that. I love romance subplots and fantasy. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. Can't wait to see how it goes. Alright, so I'm about to finish Six of Crows. As you can see, I've got like a little bit over an hour left. I am in part 6 of the book, Proper Thieves, and I just thought it would be a good idea to just do a little quick check-in before I finish the book. We're basically in that part of every like fantasy book where it seems like everything that can go wrong has already gone wrong, and we're just like free falling here. Not great for my anxiety, but I love it as a reader. Side note, earlier I said that Nina was the only Grisha. She was just the only Grisha we'd met at that point. We have 6 characters here, and all I'm gonna say is that 6 main characters, and all I'm gonna say is that 2 of them are Grisha. So, as not to spoil anything, there's 2 Grisha in the 6 crows that we have been following this whole time. I love all these characters so much. Like Matthias just, it took time for him to grow on me because I don't know, he's just been indoctrinated into this society full of prejudices against Grisha, and it I don't know, it hits a nerve for me as a person who's a minority in more than one way, and so it took me a while to grow to love him, but at this point I do love him. He did something that I was scared for a minute there, and I don't know, he did some, and it redeemed him for me, so I'm happy that that occurred. We get a lot more info on Kaz and like the way he feels about like his friends and the people that are close to him. We get more info about Jesper's upbringing and the whole how he came to be who he is, and why he's the way that he is. Same thing with Inej. We got more insight about Nina and Matthias's their past. The only thing I will say is I'm not getting too much of Wylan. I don't know, if we were just focusing on the other characters a little bit more, but he has parts in other people's POVs that give us a sense of who he is, and I think that's just a testament to Leigh Bardugo's writing, that even the characters that kind of feel like they're on the periphery a little bit, I still feel like I know them and they still feel fleshed out to me. I felt that way with the Shadow and Bone trilogy as well. But I'm going to stop rambling. They're in the middle of their heist. Like I said, things have gone wrong. Everything has hit the fan, but we're still, we're down, but we're not out, pretty much. So they've had to pivot and change plans, and it kind of just shows how good they are at what they do. And we are going into part 6 here, Proper Thieves. We're in Inej's point of view. So here we go. Okay, so it is a month later, and I'm finally back to continue my adventure in the Six of Crows duology, and I know that makes it sound like I was not excited to read this book, but I have been so excited to read this book. I've just been thinking about it and thinking about the characters and the dire straits we left them in the last book, just over and over and over again. I just had so many other books that I needed to kind of break into. Where my May TBR is concerned, I've read some great books and some not so great books, and I am ready to hop back into this one. So I am on chapter 3 right now, so I've barely started, but already we hop right into the action. I don't really know what I can say without giving too much away. I guess I'll just point out little things that wouldn't give
too much away in the story, and as we go through, and I'll kind of try to keep you abreast of the main plot. But one of the crows has been kidnapped by someone in a position of power, and so Kaz is just like this little. He's kind of so one of the crows, one of our six like main characters, has been kidnapped by someone who's in a position of power in like the city in Ketterdam. And so Kaz and the remaining, I just hit myself in the head with the book. Kaz and like the remaining crows have to get their friend back. And so that's where we are basically. We've already done like a breaking and entering sequence that was so fascinating. Just like the details that Leigh Bardugo kind of weaves into each like scene is very like it's just so captivating. And I love the scene with the daughter. So they're sneaking out of the house and like they get caught by a little kid, and Kaz pretends basically to be the boogeyman, and he tells the girl like if she it's really terrifying. I'm thinking like if I was a kid I'd be terrified, but I mean it was just I don't know, it was kind of funny. He told the little girl that he was the boogeyman, and so he told her her name, and the names of her neighbors. How does he know this? We don't know. But he's Kaz Brekker, so he knows basically everything. So he told the girl that if she doesn't go to bed and like close her eyes and tell nobody what she saw, like he's going to murder her family and her dogs. Yeah, so terrifying. But I was like, who thinks of this stuff? Like, who would think of this? I would probably try to run or try to tell the kid, like try to convince her that she was dreaming or something. But yeah, so that's where I am, and I'm already sucked in. I'm already loving this so much, and I can't wait to keep reading. This is divided into 6 parts, just like the last book. So I'm probably gonna read like a part a day, or maybe 2 parts today and a part a day from now on. I don't know, but I will be back with check-ins, probably through each part. I'll do a check-in after each part.
I just finished part 1, and so I'm going into part 2 now. We got chapters from Wylan, Matthias, and Inej in part 1, and part 2 is called A Killing Wind. So, information we got in part 1, Kaz found what he was looking for. Kaz and Wylan, they found what they were looking for in the house that they broke into. They needed information about where the member of their group that has been kidnapped, where that person is being held. I think they have the right information, but I'm feeling like they don't. And the person that's being held captive just had like a really scary experience. Like they are in dire straits, so we really need to get to them ASAP. And yeah, anxiety is at an all-time high. I love this world. I love all the details that have been woven together to create the world of these books, and I'm enjoying it as a reader, but I'm also like taking notes as a writer, like in my head of like how to do this right, because this is phenomenal. So I'm gonna read part 2, and then I will update you when I'm done with part 2. So I just finished Crooked Kingdom, and easy 5 stars from me. This story is so powerful, so painful, and so many different kinds of beautiful, and I loved it so much. It was perfect. I loved everything about it, even the parts that tore my heart out. It's just one of those stories that it's just on a different level, and I am such a fan, and I know this is like going to be one of my favorite books for the rest of my life. And yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye.